Welcome back to Mystery and Quest, the world of science, where we explore the incredible phenomena shaping our world today. In this episode, we dive deep into one of the most pressing issues of our time, climate change. With glaciers melting at an unprecedented rate and natural disasters becoming more frequent, the consequences of a warming planet are now impossible to ignore. But what exactly is driving this change? And what does it mean for the future of our planet? Stay tuned as we unravel the science behind melting glaciers, rising sea levels, and the growing threat of natural disasters. Humanity is facing perhaps the greatest challenge in its history: climate change. This is not merely a disruption of natural cycles, but an acceleration of these processes caused by human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels. Since the Industrial Revolution, the massive release of carbon dioxide, CO2, and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere has set our planet's climate system on a path that may soon be irreversible. One of the most visible and dramatic signs of this shift is the melting of glaciers. However, this process is not confined to shrinking ice masses, but has triggered a global domino effect, increasing the frequency of natural disasters and disrupting ecosystems worldwide. Glaciers are among the clearest indicators of global warming. Massive ice sheets in places like Greenland, Antarctica, and the Himalayas have long served as the planet's natural cooling systems. But over the past few decades, these glaciers have been melting at an alarming rate. Why? Climate change is causing the average global temperatures to rise. Scientists report that the Earth's surface temperature has increased by about 1.1 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century. While this might seem like a small rise, it has had a massive impact on glaciers. In Greenland and Antarctica, the rate of glacial melting has reached unprecedented levels. Greenland's ice sheet loses around 280 billion tons of ice each year. In Antarctica, this loss is about 150 billion tons annually. Although the melting glaciers seem like a localized phenomenon, their consequences reverberate across the entire globe. As glaciers melt, the water flows into the oceans, leading to rising sea levels. Globally, the sea level has risen by approximately 20 centimeters in the last century. Even this seemingly small change puts millions of people living in coastal regions at serious risk. A large portion of the world's population resides in coastal cities. Metropolises like New York, Tokyo, Miami, and Amsterdam face the looming threat of being submerged. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, sea levels could rise by up to 1 meter by the end of the century. If this scenario becomes reality, millions of people will become climate refugees. Entire nations like the Maldives may lose all of their land, turning what seems like a local issue into a global humanitarian crisis. One of the most devastating consequences of climate change is the increase in the frequency and intensity of natural disasters. Melting glaciers and rising global temperatures lead to more water vapor in the atmosphere, which in turn fuels more intense storms, hurricanes, and flash floods. Massive hurricanes like Irma and Harvey in 2017 are direct results of climate change, which makes such storms more frequent and more destructive. The warming atmosphere not only intensifies storms, but also leads to more extreme droughts. Droughts deplete water sources, devastate agricultural lands, and contribute to food crises. Between 2011 and 2017, the Horn of Africa experienced one of the worst droughts in history, leaving millions of people facing water and food shortages. Such events pose a significant threat to global food security, sparking conflicts and mass migrations. Melting glaciers pose a severe threat not only to humans, but also to wildlife and ecosystems. Particularly in polar regions, animals such as polar bears, penguins, and walruses are rapidly losing their habitats. The shrinking ice makes it increasingly difficult for these species to find food, reducing their chances of survival. However, the problem is not limited to polar regions. The melting of glaciers changes ocean salinity and temperature as fresh water from the glaciers mixes with seawater. This disruption can alter ocean currents and global weather systems, even affecting tropical regions. As a result, ecosystems suffer irreversible damage. Coral reefs, for example, are highly sensitive to warmer waters and acidification. The loss of reefs could devastate ocean food chains, threatening the survival of thousands of species. Scientists predict that the pace of glacial melting will accelerate in the coming years. If global temperatures rise by 2 degrees Celsius or more, many glaciers could disappear entirely. This would lead to rapidly rising sea levels and severe disruptions in global weather patterns and seasonal cycles. Particularly, the melting glaciers in Greenland and Antarctica could drastically alter ocean currents and atmospheric circulation systems, causing extreme weather conditions in different parts of the world. Europe, for instance, could experience much colder weather due to shifting ocean currents, while the Americas may face hotter and drier conditions. Such changes would directly threaten agriculture, food production, and water resources. To shape our future and limit these devastating impacts, we must act today. Governments, corporations, and individuals all share responsibility in the fight against climate change. Reducing carbon emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power, and ending our dependence on fossil fuels are some of the most crucial steps. In addition, investing in energy-efficient technologies, promoting the use of electric vehicles, and implementing smart city solutions can make a significant difference. Combating climate change is not solely the responsibility of governments and corporations. Individual actions can also play a key role. Practices like recycling, conserving water, and adopting sustainable consumption habits can contribute to building a future where we live without harming the planet. As we've seen, the melting of glaciers is not just an isolated event, but a signal of much larger changes happening all around us. From rising sea levels to intensifying natural disasters, the effects of climate change are becoming more severe. But while the challenges are immense, so are the opportunities for us to make a difference. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most critical issues of our time. Don't forget to subscribe to Mystery and Quest, the world of science, for more deep dives into the wonders and mysteries of the world around us. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.